Good day all, welcome to Obed Farm. We're at the second plot, and at the second plot at the present moment, as you can see, we have been doing the maize and the onions and the tomatoes. Today we have done some gap filling of those tomatoes. We have replaced the tomatoes which needed to be replaced. The cabbages that needed to be replaced, we have replaced. But I just wanted to show you what other things that are going on this same plot. Remember, here there used to be maize, and the time I arrived at this plot, they were actually in the process of harvesting their maize. They have finished harvesting that maize, and we talked about it, but obviously this section we had not agreed on anything that we were going to do. We had agreed that they would continue doing this area because they also need to do, as much as we are in partnership, they need to do their own area so that they can also get money, as it's their plot which they need to be here 24/7. But to my better advice, I told them not to replant maize, but they've decided to plant maize again. These are the challenges that you then face, but I know that the challenges that they will face is mainly now a lot of nutrients have been removed of the soil due to the previous, and that means that they need to really put in a lot of fertilizer, which at the present moment he's struggling to do it. But you try to tell someone, but if they're not willing to take advice, you let them do what they're doing. And then the only thing that I can say which was a better decision was them to tomatoes. They've planted tomatoes on this section, which they have done. But also I feel that these tomatoes are going to struggle. But they have actually put a bit of manure, a bit of fertilizer to try and keep them going. And I hope that they do well, because as much as we are in partnership, you don't want anyone else to fail, especially your partner. Because the more they fail, the more the things that it makes it, you make it feel as if things are not working, you're not working together to help each other. So we just keep on giving them advice, trying to make sure that they understand what probably their challenges are, due to the fact that on my side I have an agronomist who is actually part and parcel of what this project we are doing. So I try to, as much as possible, let them talk, speak, is of achieving results on this places that they are growing things on. So this is their project that they are doing. We obviously just watch over and just see, and we give them a bit of advice. So on the other side there, they have burnt the place, they have cut down the trees. That is almost close to another hectare. It is slightly less than a hectare, but I can feel that they want to grow maize on that area again. Yes, why do they keep on growing maize? Maize, as I said, is one of the most, I can't say simplest, but one of the most consistent things that you will know that you can go to market. You will find a market for it. And if in the event that your maize does do well, you can actually sell it either as green mealies, or if it's not doing, the green mealies are not doing well at that given time, you just stop and then you use them, wait until you dry them up, and then you sell them as normal, as maize meal, so that you then can be crushed. So those are the advantages of that maize. It is like the same way, like this is the other batch that I showed you the last time, which had been affected by the weather. But also, to me, I feel not only that it's been affected by the weather, now it has stunted growth, because one, the weather, two, they're actually not putting anything on it, and also they've indirectly, I think they've actually stopped putting water in it. But these are the things that sometimes going large scale and you do not have the resources is also a challenge to helping. Those are the challenges that you then face. So I try to say to people that work the area that you can. Yes, in time, grow as you grow. It's easier, and it makes it much more useful as you grow. That means that you're able to work that amount of land. It is like us right now, the land that we have, that we are working together as partnership. I have 2 people who work there, plus myself. I can't say myself because I don't want to lie to you. There's no way I do most of this thing. I come and I supervise, see what they're doing. Then I have the agronomist who comes with me either weekly or twice a week to see what is going on. He gives recommendations. The people who are there work that piece of land. There is more land that is available that I wanted to work on. I have kind of withdrawn myself. Yes, I have a new project that I started working on, but also at the same time I noticed that me working so much land may not mean me generating so much revenue, because I am going to be working, my eyes are going to be on both sides, and being on both sides means that you're not really concentrating. Like on the maize, there was a time I felt that the maize was now getting dry because there was no one who was paying attention to the watering cycle. I also saw that the tomatoes and the cabbages were now also suffering. So you start to see what you need to do and how you need to stop. It is, to me, like I've not been this side for almost, but I'm seeing so many things that are disappointing. Like right now they've got some beautiful tomatoes, but they have not been harvesting these tomatoes, and they've now been attacked by all sorts of creatures, as you can see here. This means that no one is really taking care of these tomatoes, but you have a full section of tomatoes which you need to be saying to yourself, you're going into market. Some of them are already rotting, which is disappointing for me who looks at it from a farming side. And as I said, you can only tell the person that, hey, try to do A, B, C, D. You cannot then do it for them or tell them how to do it, because there is just so many tomatoes that they've lost. As you can see, they are ripe. They need to be going to market as we speak, instead of them doing what they're doing right now, which are now just getting, which is rotting. This is very disappointing. And the worst part about it is that this is not a very small hectarage. It is a very, very big hectarage of tomatoes, which you are losing every day. So farming, as much as we say farm and grow big, sometimes farming small is very useful, because it helps you control. One, you're able to have enough labor to work this area. At the present moment, I see that he does not have enough labor to work all this area. Now he's got a maize crop, he's got another maize crop, he's got tomatoes, he's got another batch of tomatoes, plus a batch of what we say our vegetable local kale. Plus I see him doing an additional thing. So these are the challenges which he's going to face. Yes, doing too much may seem as if you're doing very well, but at the present moment I am quite disappointed, because all this should be, at least this week, he should have actually been in market. Last week he should have been in market with what the tomatoes I'm seeing that are here. They are already ripe. They are already in a position where they need to be at market. You see the kale that needs here, actually this kale is not doing well due to the fact that it's got too many suckers. These suckers which are on the sides, these need to be removed. They need to be transplanted and planted. So these are the things that he's having a challenge with, because now this vegetable has come to a point where it becomes stunted, because it is producing more suckers than it's itself growing and growing big leaves. And these are the things, means that he's not having enough time to do this side and do that side, and to do all these projects that he's doing all at once. The one that is actually relieved him is the one that we're doing ourselves, because I know, or I can't say I know, but I have a person who's also guiding me to tell me that this is now getting too much. This is now getting too much. Yes, we had, as I showed you at the backyard gardening, we had tomatoes. Those tomatoes, we are the ones which we were planning to grow on the second part, but we have stopped that, and we've actually started taking the tomatoes and we are actually selling them. we're selling the seedlings until we also get our place ready. So as I said, when you see something happening or you find that you can't do something, be fast and think about it. Those tomatoes are right now, I've already sold almost about 2,000 of those tomatoes, and I think I'm left about another about 1,500 or 2,000 close to there. And those are the things that we will quickly sell off and work on another area. So you've got to be thinking outside the box and doing things which are a bit different or which change according to your needs, and being very fast to adapt. So here I talked about, they're also in a position where they are starting to also get ripe, and them getting ripe means that yes, they were burnt by the cold weather, but this cold weather could have been already averted by actually, one, watering, and two, putting in a bit of fertilizer. This burning would have already been gone, but we're talking about 1 month later and there's nothing really happening. These are the things that kind of hurt me as a person who looks at farming differently from them. Yes, I do understand that the resources they do not have, and at the same time you cannot jump into someone's and try to save them, because you also want your money back, and they will be thinking that now you're trying to take over their product. It's here like the carrots that they did. The carrots are actually starving for water, as I can see. They need water, but they also need weeding. Carrots don't grow well without weeding. So these are the challenges that I do see, which can be averted or which can be corrected. But because we are always thinking of other things and looking at the bigger picture, we are not seeing the picture that we really need to look at. Like these onions, they also needed weeding, but they're already suffering. And I can see that they're already planning to do something else here. They've already poured water, but I've not asked what they're doing yet. But I know that there's just too much that they're doing. Over here they've planted sweet potatoes, so they also have done more planting of more crops, which is going to be, the water is there, that is not the problem. The only thing that I believe that the problem is the labor. The labor is what is really missing. They need a lot of people to come and work this land. Not only do they need people to come and work this land, he needs to really find ways of making sure that there's so much things that, in fact, I believe that he's just doing too much and he's not able to achieve that due to the numbers he has. Well, thank you very much for watching, very much for subscribing, and for all the comments. These are the challenges of a farmer. Thank you and have a good day.